Hey everyone, I'm Engconn, along with my trusty little sidekick Chibrashka, who's always with me by my side while I'm gaming, and well, he's a great headrest, low maintenance pet, and a good luck charm. And I also would like to give a big shout out thanks to my subscribers and followers, and my viewers, of course, like you, who are taking the moment or time to look at the videos and the content that I'm making. And today is the video number 2 to our tutorial series for the Russian Fishing 4, and a tip and guide to help the new players understand kind of the game mechanics and what to do. And from the first video, guys, I will continue to say again, don't play this to be leveling up and grinding hard and all the best gear and all this. This is not that kind of a game or simulation. It is for really personal enjoyment. And so I'm going to have another 5 tips for you today, or suggestions, or more suggestions than anything, because everybody plays how they're going to play. So, and one of the main things which we're going to look at here today is the cottage pond. So I'm not going to go log into it because you'll be here in the tutorial, but I want you to everyone to be aware that in the cottage pond, it shows float tackle, bottom tackle, okay, a little bit of fishing, small stars, but nothing in the spinning. So, and the fishing here, there's not real great big fish in here, but you get a lot of them, and it is a really good place to start making silver. So you can go ahead and grind. And at this point, though, while you're thinking, for my first tip or suggestion of my 5 that I'll give you today is you really got to sit back and think. If I'm going to be a fisherman, what do I want to do? Do I want to be a float tackle fisherman? Do I want to be a bottom tackle fisherman, or do I want to be the spinning tackle fisherman? And you'll have some time to kind of toy with it. And you can actually spin cast in this pond too. I was catching a lot of fish too, so it goes with a little bit of technique and different things, but still it's a good place to grind. And you can also once per day, go and get extra supplies. So I got 1 extra spin gear and 2 extra floats for the sinkers, and because I did get snagged and end up losing stuff. Like, it does happen, or a bigger fish will just come by and rip all your stuff off. Things do happen. The game is very dynamic. There is no set pattern that you can follow. Everything is very changeable. Okay, so this is the first thing, is that you really need to decide exactly which way you're going to be fishing, and you definitely spend a lot of time, in this cottage farm. I think I spent like my first 7 in-game days here and collecting silver like crazy. Then you got free travel between the Mosquito Lake and the Winding Rivulet. So, but when you look at the Mosquito Lake, now it says, ooh, float tackle's great, bottom tackle's great, spin tackle, starts to improve. Well, myself, I'm a fisherman who likes to be active. So spinning for me is more interesting than the float. The float's a little bit more technique, but it's a little bit more of patience and and style. And I found it a little bit like for catching fish on spinning, per catching 1 bite per fish, I'm more better and efficient with this style of fishing because I've done it in real life. The applications seem to work out. The float tackle I didn't do so much, but it's either pulled too early, pulled too late. Like, some people have the knack, some people don't. But my one main suggestion is that definitely be thinking about at least bottom tackle. So if you're a person who likes to float tackle and you want to run 2 floating rods, great, but at least buy 1 bottom, because a lot of the fish in the game that is sold for silver, most of it is only caught on bottom tackle. So it is to consider that. You don't have to worry about skill points and all that. We'll get into it later. But the idea is that, if you're going to really put your skills in the game, and really, because you really can choose really one of these 3 trees and you can tap into another one, but you're kind of stuck on 1 tree. So it's really important that once you start, because you're allowed 1 reset skill point, and if you're going to go to level 10 or 15 and go, oh man, I got to change, and then you play to level 30, went, oh man, now I got to pay to change. Well, it's better to really decide what you want to do. So don't put any of the skill points in, just worry about fishing and having fun. Just let the days go by and just really enjoy. And the whole point is to be collecting silver, because as in my first video, I showed you the first 5 most important things that you will need to buy, and to buy them you will need the silver. Okay, so that is the next thing. And also, when you can, after a couple levels, you'll be going into the Winding Rivulet. Now here is where they have the market where they sell eggs and potatoes. So it would be nice. The potatoes run 5 pieces for around $1.90 silver, and the eggs are 0.25 or 25 cents, if you want to put it this way. So you can buy 4 eggs for 1 silver. So I usually buy, the 10 eggs. They'll sell it to me for 2 point less silver less, so I pay like 246 or 248. And then I usually buy 15 or 20 potatoes for making baked potatoes and future recipes. So, and then here he says, you see it's spinning tackle. Now, of course, float tackle in the river is a little bit difficult. Bottom is actually okay. So if you are going to be deciding to go float, the Winding Rivulet won't be as fun. There is a few places on the river where it's still water, backwater, and it's okay. But where it's actually flowing fast, you're just not going to be able to be float fishing very efficiently, and it may not be as fun. So the Mosquito Lake will do that for you. And why I like spinning is that I can use all 3 lakes, always something to do. I do float when I'm bored, but I put all my skills into spinning and, of course, bottom tackle. So this makes it really good. We're going to run back into Mosquito Lake now, because on my next video I will go into the Winding Rivulet, but we'll go in here now. And you're going to see that there are the buildings here. So this one is the grocery store, which I had mentioned in the first video, which ones to buy. And you don't have to walk down to all the markets. You go right here. See, it says E, enter fish market, couple steps. Oh, enter boat station. You don't have to be walking the whole map. You just need to touch a few things. A lot of people recommend, oh, don't buy the map and all that. That's your personal choice. Personally, I'm a collector in the games. I like pets and all kinds of things, so I collect the map, and I'd rather just know where I want to go on the map. And as you see now, it's starting to rain. So now what's most important, guys, is the cafe. And when you are fishing in the cottage, all the fish you catch in the cottage does not apply to Mosquito Lake. So it's therefore just for my 9th suggestion, to be thinking about the fish you catch, just go to the fish market and sell it. But these will be all the fish that you will be catching, and you'll notice that it has 113. This is hours, guys. Here, 64 is hours, so you're looking at almost 3 days. This one is about an hour left, and it's going to have a new fish species here. You have almost 3 days here. You've got about a day and a half for these guys. And the lake is dynamic, and what I have figured out with my 110 hours of playing so far, that the fish you see posted in the cafe, it means they're going to be a little bit harder to catch. So this means that I'll be catching perch much easier. I'll be catching crucians, like I got a crucian here. I might catch crucians a little better. There's a fish called an eyed in this lake, which is not here, so I might catch an eyed a little bit more easier. There's also just the bream and white bream. There's 2 kinds of breams in here, and that means that I'll probably catch the breams and not the white. So this is something, the lake is very dynamic. So one of the ways that you can check out is find out if you're going to play 2 hours, that is 2 in-game day hours, you can look at some of these schedules and say, oh, okay, I got 2 days to fish this. Oh, it's going to change in a couple hours. Or like in the in-game time, like this one here is going to have a new fish soon. You can see what they want and try to target it. So if you're float fishing, you're most likely going to get roach, maybe crucian, maybe a bream, might get a ruff, tench probably not, pike probably not. So spin casting will be that. This will be bottom feeding. Like most of these are all bottom rigs, and that's why it's kind of recommended. And the things you got to watch out too for is that it says the mass. The mass is the gram. So if you have 5 roaches, you need 5 roaches. anything above 50 grams, they're going to give you 7 silver. So you want to come to this quest board, check out the hours, what kind of the fish they want, and how many pieces, and beware of the grams. I've made more silver catching perch and the bream and the pike and the roach. Is something to think about. Okay, so that's my next tip, is to make sure you check out like this one here. See, this one's going to end in 6 seconds. If we can stay for a few seconds and see what's going to happen. So it's going to go 0. But if I would have brought anything 190 grams and above, you get 9. This is pretty good silver for this quest. And boom, now it's locked out. So you can't catch this at all. Even if you came in and you had crucians, nothing's going to happen. So now the next one is going to be 30 hours, 34, and so on and so forth. So when you're out fishing for the day, you know, just be collecting all the fish you can, and you can catch 100 fish in your catch quota, which is really okay. So it's really good to be checking out this cafe. And when you come to sell fish, it's always good just to come and check it, because if you're out here for a day and a half, the time, you know, if you're out here fishing 1 hour and 20 minutes real time, you're just going to forget and say, hey, oops, and all of a sudden you'll see, oh, they changed the quota, and you can hand in what you got. You'll get a big whack of silver. In all the lakes from here on out have the kitchen. You have a free meal every day, one every 24 hours. So here I've ate at 1 o'clock, so by the midnight day I can have it again. The hardware stores I showed in the first video, and I'll be making my third video on the workshop, guys, and please be aware that you won't need this right away, but your gear does break down, and maintenance, and also things that you buy in the tackle shop. We're going to be looking at recommendations, okay? And the 10th final thing that I want to say about this that's very important is remember and beware. Things that you buy you cannot sell. So if you end up buying a rod and go, oops, I bought the wrong rod, well, too bad. So you got to be very careful on what you buy and what you decide to do. So in my next video, I'm going to be looking exactly at the fishing rods, the fishing gear, which way you want to go. I will tell you the way that I went, and in my successful, as I'm streaming my videos on mixer.com, also I'm doing bottom and spinning, and showed the rods that I bought for what purpose and how I'm doing it. And my approach to the game is not like trying to level up so fast. I really just go out and enjoy fishing, and all of a sudden, oops, I get a reward. Or I posted on my Steam community some big fish just on my first gear tackle, only by just buying better fishing line, a little bit of a bigger hook within the guidelines of my gear, and I'm just pulling them in with great excitement. So that is something to think about, and we'll go through the buildings on the next one, and make your experience on the game to be a little bit more easy to navigate. And as well, in the next one we'll be looking at the skills, because the skills are a bit confusing on how they work, and they actually confused me as well. Even when I watched other videos, I still didn't quite catch the concept. So I think that I will be able to show you an easier or lighter method to understand how the skills will work. Okay, so until the next video, I hope that you will be looking forward to watching it. And again, for as a reminder, this video is one, decide on, you know, the way that you're going to fish as you would in real life. What kind of fisherman are you? The next one is fish a few days in the cottage. Don't worry to get out of there and jump in the mosquito. If you end up spending 2 in-game weeks at the cottage, I mean, be farming for the silver. You're going to get crucians and perch and sleepers, and I mean, you're just going to be selling it. But don't take the fish to the cafe, because the fish caught in the cottage don't count. You just sell them. Just come to the market, sell them, boom, jump back in again. And maybe you can come in and buy a hook or two, but hopefully you'll see the third video to understand what you need to do. The third thing is to make sure that you sell the fish and you buy your basic food supplies. Make sure you get some carrots and the cheaper foods and stuff like that. And the fourth thing I can recommend is make sure that you're saving up your silver. Don't go be spending crazy. Don't worry about buying anything. Level up. Don't be spending your points right now. If you end up being level 5 or 6, keep your points until you see the next video. And the 10th and final piece of advice I can give, or which is the fifth one in this video because it's 10 so far with 2 videos combined, is beware that what you buy you keep. You cannot sell back. You cannot, all you can do is discard it or store it. So making your decisions is very important, which I will show you in the next video on how to do this correctly. So Chibrashka and I say goodbye, and again I have to give you a big thank you, and please subscribe or comment. Please do hit that like or dislike button. It really helps me with the content. In the descriptions below, I've got my links to my mixer.com, my Steam community. I've got my screenshots of some of the fish I got on low tackle. Like, I mean, the tackle I'm still, even now after 110 hours, I'm still using my original first bought tier gear, and I'm just enjoying myself completely. So I'm not going for the big level, so I really want you guys to enjoy this a lot. So until video 3, see you then.